I think in 8th grade, that's when it went from, oh, Amari, do you want to come hang out this weekend? And be like, no, I can't, I have basketball. I'm like, oh, what about next weekend? No, I can't, I have basketball. And then in the summer, it's like, oh, you're gonna come to my birthday party? Be like, oh, I'll send you a card, but I can't, I have a tournament. Be like, oh, do you want to come to the beach with us? I was like, oh, I gotta get up early to work out tomorrow. There's definitely sacrifices you have to take, but in the end, it's all worth it. I mean, I've gotten to do things that no one's probably would ever be able to do already. I think that's kind of what separates a lot of people too, is some people don't want to miss out on that stuff. I don't want to miss on that stuff either, but I know that I have to make these sacrifices to do what I want to do, and I wouldn't have changed anything if I would have had the choice.
At the age of 11, most kids might shy away from playing varsity basketball at their new school, but simply put, Amari DeBerry is different. That difference in her is open doorways to earning a gold medal for the USA 16U national team, a nod as a McDonald's All-American, and even a basketball scholarship to UCONN. Her ability to learn and adapt has helped put her hometown of Western New York on the map.
I always loved sports because my mom introduced us to sports super early on. Always outside, always just playing outside and stuff with all the kids around the neighborhood. The girls would want to go do other stuff. I was like, I don't want to go do handstands and cartwheels. I want to go play with the boys. They're having fun. It wasn't probably until 5th grade where I realized, I'm like, oh, I'm playing with the boys, but now I'm beating the boys. I'm actually getting good at this. So then that's where my interest in basketball started growing. And I was in 4th grade. My mom was like, do you want to go play on an actual team with other girls? Go to Rochester and play every weekend? I was like, yeah, sure. I want to make more friends, other schools. When I took the jump from that team to Mike Duvall's 17U team when I was 11, I was like, okay, I'm playing with girls who are seniors and I'm in 6th grade. This is getting serious now. And then I think it was probably my freshman year where I realized again that this is something that I could do in college, because that summer before is when the coaches started reaching out to me, and I had this letters started to come, everyone asking me all these questions. Everyone already thought I was in college playing. If I was out at the mall, they're like, oh, where do you go to college? You play basketball? I was like, I do play basketball, but I'm 12 years old, so.
Quickly, Amari's daily schedule became wrapped around the next big basketball event. While most other grade school kids were planning their summer weekends, she was spending her time in the gym. The separation became clear when Amari arrived at tryouts for the Williamsville South High School basketball team during her 7th grade year.
Yeah, so the mindset thing, my coach didn't tell me that she was going to have me try out for the varsity team. I switched to Williamsville South, and I actually gave him the pamphlet, the trifold thing, and I checked off JV because I didn't know. I was like, oh, I'm young. I don't think I should be trying out for the varsity team. So Coach John's like, Amari. I'm like, yeah. I'm on the other side of the gym for JV coach. She's like, come over here. I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, this is Amari and Naomi. They're gonna be joining us this year. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right. And that team just won states the year before too. So I was like, oh, wow, okay, this is cool. So I'm 11 years old with these 18-year-olds, and if the coach Dolan told me, Amari, you're not gonna play a game this year, you're just gonna come practice with us, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm playing against a team that just won states during practice, so I'll do whatever you want me to do. I think it was only 9 or 10 games in, I started. I started during 7th grade year. I couldn't really body people when I was in 7th and 8th grade, so I was just always the first one down, so I get that wide open layup, not worried about getting checked across the floor. So the next year I was starting every game. And that's when it became okay, you need to start picking up the points, you need to start picking up the rebounds, picking up on defense, you need to learn how to move your certain pivot feet, learn these new moves, learn how to do this, that.
She would go on to make 4th team All-Western New York as a 7th grader, and eventually make 1st team her 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years, along with a few Player of the Year nods and 2,000 points over her career. While her high school ability was almost impossible to match, she learned quickly that where she would make the biggest step into college coaches' eyes was on the EYBL circuit with the Philly Bells, her AAU summer travel team.
Playing on the Philly Bells, I was a little nervous. Those girls on that team were actually already playing EYBL for the past 2 years. So I was like, okay, I don't really know what any of this is. Like, I didn't even know what EYBL was last year. So I need you guys to help me out. And so they just really helped me, like took me through the process of everything. They're like, oh, just wait till you get to Boo. I'm like, what's Boo? And it's the first session for the EYBL tournament. It's called Boo Williams at the Boo Williams Sportsplex. And they were right. Like, once I got there, I was like, okay, these girls are good. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know any of this was happening. So I'm just really glad I had them there to like walk me through the process and just like get me ready. And they didn't go easy on me. They knew I was young, but they knew that since I was young, they needed to go hard on me. So I just like stay ready for like everything in the games, because I was starting. I was first period of EYBL, I was starting. I mean, it did help I was 6'4" at the time, but it just helped that they were there to like walk me through the process. Like, that kind of mindset you can't really have. Like, you can't be hurt if you're not the best one. You gotta work to be the best one. And right now, I'm about to head into college. I know I'm not gonna be the top dog there. Like, I'm coming in, I'm the youngest one on the team by like 2 years. I'm still 17. And I just think with like the Philly Bells, I knew I've never played EYBL before, so I was about to walk in talking about I knew what I was doing. Like, I'm gonna say, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, but if you guys are willing to help me out, I'm gonna work so we win these games.
With her proven ability being showcased both locally and nationally, the college offers started to come in. As a sophomore, Amari had over 30 coaches calling her with their interest in bringing her in. But there was only one school that she really had her heart set on.
So I'd walk home from school, and then I'd go right to the mailbox because I knew I had like 4 or 5 letters, and I'm like, yeah, like I got these letters. So I was like looking through them, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Mom. She was like, what? I was like, there's a letter from UCONN in here. She was like, what? And that was the first one I got from them. That was 9th grade. And I've gotten like the big envelopes, the little envelopes, and they just gave me the nice little, like the normal envelope said UCONN in the corner, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I think that's kind of like when that switch flipped too. I was like, UCONN knows who I am. Like, that's a pretty big deal. They just won 4 national titles in a row. It was just really nice. I FaceTimed them a couple days after I got back from their Notre Dame UConn game at UConn. And I was like, hey coach, you guys want to all get together for a FaceTime call tonight? Just want to let you guys know something. He's like, yeah, see you. It was like 6 or something. And I remember I started tearing up because I was just so excited. But I was like, I want to come to your school. And he was like, what was that? And I was like, I want to come play for you if you'll have me. And then he was like, yeah, of course. And we're all cheering, we're all clapping. And then I like posted on Instagram. And I just have a bunch of people, supporting me. That was really nice. Staying close to home was a big thing because I'm very, like, all my family's right here. So I'd travel 6 hours every weekend to go practice in Philly, and 6 hours to UConn wasn't too bad for me. So
being close to home is important for Amari, as her mom and sister have been alongside her every step of the way.
Yeah, just my mom taking me to practice. She'd change her work schedule, or she'd be like, okay, Amari, like, did the AAU schedule come out yet? Or did the EYBL schedule come out? Yeah, I gotta tell work that I gotta work double this whole week, and then so I can take off the next 4 days to go to your tournament. Or I gotta go work a double at this job, double at that job, and then get off during Friday to go take you to Philly, go sleep in the car, and then take you home the next day. Or it would be, okay, we gotta fly to this tournament so that we can fly back to this place and then fly home so you can make it to school the next morning on time. Like, I'd be going from the airport to school all the time. So definitely my mom, I just appreciate her a lot, taking the time to like make all these plans and get me to where I need to go. And definitely my sister too, since the attention with my basketball for years, like, she understood that I needed that attention so I could get to where I wanted to go. And she'd always be along for the ride too. So I'm just really glad that I have them there. If I met 11-year-old Amari now, I think I would say try to be a little less goofy during practice. I mean, still have fun, but I think I'd probably just say keep doing what you're doing and keep having fun, because you're gonna do some great things.
Thank you for supporting Greenlight. Make sure you share and subscribe to keep everybody up to date on our local stars.